I'm Alex Dykes, and thanks for joining us for the Jeep Grand Comanche Project Car, Episode 2. If you haven't seen Episode 1, then go ahead and click that link down below and follow the saga on from Episode 1. Let's go over what we've done so far. So the first thing we did with the Jeep Grand Cherokee is we installed a 3-inch lift kit. As you can see, it's a little bit higher than normal. And then we went and installed brand new steel rims and new off-road tires. The next step is interior removal, and we're going to strip everything from the headliner to the carpet all the way back in the vehicle. Although it's a little bit rough around the edges, we've decided to keep the majority of the interior up front as we convert this to a pickup truck style cab, which means keeping that dual zone climate control, the airbags, etc. up front. However, in the back, we're going to be removing all the interior. As you'd expect with any backyard mechanic style project, things didn't go according to plan right away. So here we have these off-road tires, and according to my calculations, a 3-inch lift kit should have been sufficient. And that was also according to a number of online resources that I Googled before we even bought the tires and wheels. As it happens, they are just a little bit big for the car, so that necessitated cutting the front bumper cover with a razor knife. We had to remove the wheel liners, front and rear, inside the wheel wells in order to make that work. We're probably gonna have to do some sort of spray-on bed liner applique to the inside. Otherwise, we're gonna, chew through the metal and the paint and get some rust going on there. But the bigger and more important problem is right back here, because the fender, as you can see, is touching this tire right at the moment. Now, it is a very slight rub, and fortunately, it only rubs on these chunky blocks of the tread right here, so it's not rubbing on the sidewall, thankfully, and it's not rubbing hard enough to get down to the rubber of the tire, but that is still a bit of a concern, so it's something that we're going to have to address. The way the all-wheel drive worked in this generation of Grand Cherokee is that instead of a traditional 2-speed transfer case that's a part-time system that you'd find in pickup trucks and other vehicles, what Jeep did was they combined that style system with a multi-plate clutch pack, and that multi-plate clutch pack is actuated by what's called a gear rotor pump. Basically, differences in the drive speed for the front axle and the rear axle cause this gear rotor pump to lock up the clutch pack and transfer power to the front. The system can vary that between essentially a 0 lock and a 100% lock, sending power 50-50 front and rear. Now, if you're in 4 high, that's what's going on in this particular Grand Cherokee, but if you're in 4 low, it bypasses that Vari-Lock unit and directly connects the front and the rear axles. So we know that with some testing, this vehicle is not sending power to the front in 4 high, so that Vari-Lock unit is probably defective at this point. And if we lock it into 4 low, then we get some peculiar noises going on, and that's probably going to be the chain and or the sprockets that are slipping inside the transfer case. So we've ordered some new seals, we've ordered some new clips, and we've ordered new sprockets as well as a new chain. We'll be installing those this next week. All-wheel drive problems couldn't prevent us from taking this baby off-road, so we've already wandered around our property in it. So you can see we cut down a tree, we shifted some chicken food. That's what I'm sitting on right now, is about 250 pounds of chicken feed. Worked fairly well. Right now we're going to take out the interior, because the interior in the back especially is just pretty useless for us. There's no reason for a headliner back here, there's no reason for carpet, and there certainly is no reason for seat belts for the back seats, since we're going to take those out, as well as these plastic panels. All right, let's see what we have done. As you can see, we have removed the carpet. We decided to keep this panel in here temporarily because the spare tire well could be used for tool storage under the bed of the pickup truck shell. We have removed all the carpet, the interior. We've also removed most of the headliner. We've left the area that will be the pickup truck cab. And temporarily, we have left a 3rd seat in the Grand Cherokee because I have a friend coming over later today, and we're gonna go and play around in the Jeep. We screwed the door handles right back onto the doors temporarily so it's easy to get out. We removed the jack, the amplifier. We're going to have to relocate the amplifier for the Infinity sound system, probably under the front passenger seat. You have a little bit more carpet to remove, and there is the 3rd seat. And you can see this is the sunroof track right there. We're obviously going to have to make the sunroof sort of a fixed or manual type sunroof. A little bit of trivia for people who always wonder why modern sunroofs don't seem to leak like they used to in the olden days, and that's really obvious right there. As you can see, that blue tube, which is a little out of focus, but that blue tube right there is the sunroof drain, and there are 4 sunroof drains in modern cars, 1 at each corner of the sunroof, and that's what helps keep them from quote-unquote not leaking. The fact of the matter is they really do leak, they just have good drains these days. Fairly well, see?
Oh my god, it's tipping.
What?
Nothing.
What? Oh my god, what?
Nothing.
Oh my god, what? We're going to go off-roading just a little bit, and you'll probably hear the noise that we've been having from this transfer case. If you know what this noise is and it's not the transfer case, then be sure and comment in the comment section down below, because that would be useful information to have. We're in 4 low now, and we're just going to go cruising up this hill. Seems like we made a pretty good choice with these Pro Comp tires, because they do seem to grip fairly well. Now I have a chainsaw right up next to me. Adjust that, there we go. But they do seem to grip fairly well. This is a moderately steep slope right here, and it's all sandy because we live in the redwood forest, and sandstone is very close to the surface. It's all decomposed sandstone, so it's all pretty darn sandy. And these guys can stop a 4,000-pound Grand Cherokee on the slope very easily, so makes going down this slope fairly easy. I think they'll work fairly well for us off-road. I would have preferred something just a little bit chunkier, but these seem to be a decent balance in having a little bit of on-road performance as well as having decent off-road ability. They stop fairly well, see? Thanks for watching part 2 of the Jeep Grand Comanche project. Be sure and click that subscribe banner at the bottom of your screen so you can be updated on all of our latest videos. Also, comment on this video, tell us what you liked and what you didn't like about this video, especially what sections you'd like to see more on and what sections you'd like to see less on. So if you'd like to see more of the mechanical work on the car, if you'd like to see us crack open that transfer case and see what's inside it, to have us explain to you what we're doing about those sorts of things, be sure and let me know in the comment section down below. I can't guarantee that everything that we'll be doing to this car is the right way to do it, but it is the way that I do it. So let me just make that disclaimer right up front. But if you want to see more of those sections, then be sure and comment on this video. Be sure and subscribe to the video. And I'm not exactly sure when the next piece will be out, but click that subscribe banner and you'll find out when we do. I had initially hoped to do this kind of a conversion with the Jeep Patriot, and I know that sounds even stupider than doing this with a Grand Cherokee, but there's a reason, and it's primarily weight. The Jeep Patriot is pretty darn light, and you can still lift it just a little bit. There are a few aftermarket lift kits that you can get. Admittedly, you can do an awful lot more in the Grand Cherokee because it's more rugged, especially in this particular generation, because we still have the solid front and rear axles. However, right up here, we have a very heavy engine versus that light 4-cylinder engine in the Jeep Patriot. This is a 4.7-liter V8 engine, produces about 235 horsepower, if I remember my numbers from 2000 correctly. I'll pop the correct number down there on the bottom so you can see that. Of course, some of the horses I'm sure have escaped in the 13 years since this car was built, but most importantly, this engine is fairly heavy, and it's mated to a large and heavy 4-speed automatic transmission, later dubbed the 545 RFE because of the second kickdown gear.